Hi, how are you? And welcome to vlog 76. I was just checking there because I always get it wrong, but it's vlog 76. I'm a couple of days late. I don't know what it is when I'm in Kuwait. I just don't really seem to be able to come up with the topics as well. Plus, I'm constantly in this apartment because it's too hot to go outside. I was actually working from Starbucks the other day and started doing a couple of vlogs and they were going great. And I got interrupted by a couple of different things and had to stop them, like people moving about, noises, all that kind of stuff. So, I'm really sorry. I'm just going to stop apologising. If I miss a couple of days, I miss a couple of days. I'm really trying to make them daily. But it was quite interesting after the visualisation and goal setting topic that we were doing. I was kind of thinking, where do I go from there? And over the last couple of days, I've been looking back over the vlogs that I've done before. I've been watching other vlogs that I find inspiring. I've been reading a lot more. I've been doing a lot more self-development of my own, which has been great. And I've been kind of thinking, what's the next topic? And I'm usually always able to come up with a sort of scenario that we're going through at the moment, which would be hopefully relevant to a situation that you guys are going through. And some of the stuff we're going through at the moment, I don't want to scare you about, like, I don't want to tell you how tricky it can get once you're up and running. So I'm not going to try and use analogies of everything that's going on at the moment. But needless to say, when you're starting out and going through the first couple of years of a business, there will always be curveballs. There will always be things that catch you off guard. And I suppose nobody knows quite how to deal with them, and no vlog is going to cover it in 8 minutes, and definitely no book even covers it. It's all just through doing it. And that led me to the topic that I wanted to talk to you about tonight. It's a particularly favourite topic of mine, and it's to do with risk. And risk is the one area, idea, concept that you're going to have to get used to if you're going to set up your own business, because attitude to risk is directly proportionate to how successful you're going to be. So the stronger your attitude towards risk, and this is calculated risk we're talking about, not just throwing yourself off a cliff without a parachute, calculated risk, the more pro risk you are, the more successful you're going to be. And this has been proven time and time again. There's no story of a successful entrepreneur where it didn't have an element of risk. And even when you see entrepreneurs from all different backgrounds and all different types of risk, so sometimes the risk is, in the case of Arnold Schwarzenegger, the risk is going against the military and breaking out to do bodybuilding. Sometimes, for example, in the story of Chris Gardner, who inspired the film Pursuit of Happiness, the risk was he was homeless and he just needed money, but he pursued this job, which he did for free for the first couple of weeks, and he didn't know whether it was going to pay off, but he gave it everything he had for short-term absolute pain in order for long-term gain. So risk is this really interesting concept where just when you think you've risked everything, just when you think you've taken the risk, actually I think that's when you need to prove yourself even more. So for example, when you're starting your business, you will think that the biggest risk is not having a wage. That's not the biggest risk. It's a consideration. Everybody needs money, but you will so quickly forget about replacing your wage when all the other things of entrepreneurship come into play. The biggest risk of entrepreneurship is not getting out of your comfort zone fast enough, not learning fast enough, not becoming the person that you need to be fast enough, and not developing yourself into the person that's capable of running the business that you're setting up, because it may fail, it may go under, it may not work, but if you're going to always be better for having tried it, and if it does fail, you know that you'll be able to pick yourself up and go on with it again, then I don't think the risk is in I won't have a wage at the end of this month. I think the bigger risk is, what if I don't do this? And that's what I was faced with when I was 31 years old. I was faced with living a life that I didn't enjoy. It had great parts to it, don't get me wrong, some of it was fantastic. I've got a great relationship with my close friends, fantastic nieces and nephews, brilliant relationship with my dad, my family. I had a good life, I used to get out the weekends and everything. But there wasn't any substance to it. There wasn't anything that made me want to jump out of bed in the morning. and there wasn't anything that made me want to work late into the night on. And I didn't realise that that was a problem until a couple of events happened, and I looked at my own life from an outside perspective, and I realised that I was just in the biggest comfort zone ever. You know, I was lazy, I was probably like borderline depressed, you know, like I would lie on the couch all day and watch box sets, and when I think of doing that now, you know, God, if I could have a day just to lie and watch box sets, I'd kill for it. But you know, that doesn't appeal to me anymore. I don't think that that's an idea of a great day. And my biggest risk was staying there. It was staying in that position and staying like that forever. So the risk wasn't I'm going to be skint next month, because I was skint every month. The risk wasn't, oh, I might have to give up the flat and move back to my dad's couch. That could have happened if I lost my job. The risk for me was, what if I don't do this? What if I just keep living this hamster wheel of a life, you know, and I just keep wishing it was Friday and saving up for holidays, dreading Monday and texting my friends saying happy hump day. You know, is that what you're doing just now? Is that all there is? It's 100% not. I now don't know the difference between a Monday and a Friday, and I genuinely don't, because I work every single day of the week. Example, this Friday I thought I was travelling to New York. It turns out I'm actually travelling the day before. Who forgets about a trip to New York? It's ridiculous. Like, your life becomes so much different. Whereas in the olden days, in my old life, I would have looked forward to a trip to New York for 2 years. I could have told you the chassis number of the flight that I was on, you know. And that's not to say that you don't appreciate these things and I'm not grateful for them, because I absolutely am. But I'm living the life that I dreamed of. And I only did it by taking a risk. And the risk, as I say, wasn't monetary. The risk was emotional, and the risk was that in being this person that you need to become, your life is going to be so different that you're not going to recognise it, and nobody around you is going to recognise it. And you better just hope that you're strong enough and you're robust enough to get through that in one piece, to get through that and still be the person that you are, because you're going to lose friends. People are going to talk about you. People are going to try and knock you down for what you're doing. Even when you try to do good things, people are going to try to fuck you over. People are going to try and take what you have. They're going to try and take credit for what you do. They're going to try and sabotage you along the way. And they're going to, most of all, not believe that you can make it. If you can face all that pretty much every single day and still keep going and still know that you've got something that matters and know that you've got something to give back, and that no matter what happens, you're going to weather the storm and you're going to be okay. And not only are you going to be okay, but you're going to be a better person for it. If you can do all that and still be able to be the same humble, grateful, respectful, curious, you know, inquisitive person that you were at the start, you know, looking into everything and taking every opportunity and jumping at everything that you get offered, if you can still be like that and not let it get you jaded and not let it get you down, that's all there is to it. It genuinely is. The risk is with you. It's, are you ready to be the person that you could properly be? Are you ready to take the leap and maybe be better than the people that you associate with? I count myself extremely lucky in the fact that I'd already chosen my friends pretty well. There's not been a lot of my close friends that aren't in my life anymore, and the ones that aren't are for different reasons. I've got the same friends that I had from school, and every workplace I've worked in over the years, I've got a friend from that workplace, and that's fantastic. But I know I'm lucky. I know I'm one of the lucky ones. Likewise, is there any of those friendships that I would have been surprised about if they had fallen away? Absolutely. Like, I wouldn't have expected it from my friends at all, and I'm sure you're the same. I'm sure everybody who starts a business is the same. You just expect that everybody's going to support you. It's not always like that. Not everybody's going to be happy for you, and the reason they're not going to be happy for you is they see you doing something that they could do. And I, as I say, am so thankful that everybody in my life, I believe at this point, looks at me and thinks, I'm really pleased for her and I'm really happy that she's doing this and it makes her happy. It might not be like that for you. You might have people who look at you and want what you have and are jealous about it and try and bring down your accomplishments. And literally the only reason that happens and the only reason that comes from a bad place is because when they see celebrities on the TV and they see billionaires and they see millionaires and they see successful business people and they see people living their dream and all this kind of stuff. They don't know them. They don't come from the same place as them. They don't have any affiliation with them, and they believe that that's luck, or well, that's just them. But you come from the same place, and you've worked in the same place, and you go out at the same place at weekends, and you do the same things, and you listen to the same music, and you talk the same conversations. You're them, and you took the risk, and that's the only difference between you and them. But some people still won't take that risk. So that's what makes you unique. And it is a unique thing, and it's something to be really proud of, and it's something to be admired. But it's a big thing, and don't underestimate how big a thing it is. Because once you take that first risk, you need to keep taking risks every day, day in, day out. And some of the risks are huge, and some of them are extremely demanding. And sometimes the person you need to be is not the person that you intentionally set out to be. Sometimes you need to make decisions based on what's best for the business ahead of what's best for yourself. Sometimes you need to put yourself in positions where it's not about you, you're an afterthought, especially when it gets to the stage where you've got a team. The biggest risk I have at the moment is doing something personally which affects the livelihood of my team. And that's a daily risk you carry about with you, and it's one that I take very seriously. I can't just be on social media saying whatever I want. I can't decide to not go in one day. I can't, there's all these things that you can't do. But no risk will ever, ever be greater than the risk of the life I would have led if I hadn't taken the jump. Because I can't honestly say what I'd be doing right now. But I know I'd be 100% miserable. I know that my life wouldn't have changed. I know that the type of conversations I have on a regular basis would be different. I know the person I am would be different. I wasn't really a nice person back then, and I don't want to go back to being that. That's the bigger risk for me. So work out, what have you really got to lose? What is it that you think you're going to lose that's so worth hanging on to that you wouldn't risk changing your life for it? And look at that thing under a microscope and work out if it's really worth it. Because see, if you give it 3 to 5 years and you really work at it, and I mean really work at it, you're going to be changed for your better, for your kids better, for the betterment of your whole family. You'll be able to leave a legacy to generations coming again. You'll be able to live every day as if you love it. What an amazing legacy to set to the next generation, that it's okay to completely love your life. I think that's all I'm trying to do. I think I'm just trying to show that it can be better, that we don't have to be stuck in these hamster wheels that we set for ourselves, or in these stereotypes or these pigeonholes that other people set for us. And that all sits on the other side of that risk that you're worried about taking. Just take it, just go for it. And whatever you lose in the process, it's only making way for more stuff to come in. And the stuff that's coming in is way better than the stuff you lost. I promise. I hope that helped. I don't really know what I'm going to be talking about over the next few days. I'm going back to New York tomorrow though. Oh, it's like where my soul gets its energy from. I think I love that city, so I can't wait to go back. So I'll hopefully do a couple of vlogs from some really nice New York locations for you, and then I'm in LA next week. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Definitely some LA vlogs. So have a lovely night. I'm getting back up to like the 15 minutes again. When I don't talk to you for a few days, I just rabbit on. I think that's totally fine. And please comment below, please subscribe, but please comment below if what is your risk? What is the risk that you're too scared to take? And let's see if we can't talk it through and get you to the other side of it together. Have a lovely night. I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Cheers, bye bye.